health officials warned that when a coronavirus vaccine is ready, the next hurdle is how to get that vaccine out to the public quickly and in massive numbers. Joining me now is Jay Walker. He's the CEO of Appiject, a company that entered into a $138 million deal with the Trump administration called Project Jumpstart. Welcome, Mr. Walker.
Glad to be here, Lori.
So what is Project Jumpstart?
Well, Project Jumpstart is an emergency and temporary program in the battle against COVID-19. It's a public-private partnership between my company, Appiject Systems of America, and the Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Defense. And its purpose is to ensure that by year end, we'll have at least 100 million doses ready to inject of a vaccine or therapeutic, assuming one is available.
And now you are going to be making these pre-filled syringes for the vaccines. What's the problem with glass vial systems of manufacturing and delivering vaccines?
Well, there's no problem with glass vials. They work wonderfully, except when you need hundreds of millions of them all at once. The supply chain for glass vials requires not only that you have all of those vials and all the materials that go with it, but it requires that you have extremely specialized filling equipment to fill all those vials. All of that equipment is currently busy. It works on cancer drugs and other life-saving drugs. There is no excess capacity to fill 100 million, 150 million or more with a new vaccine. Therefore, the U.S. government has stepped out and said, we'll need to use another way to make sure that that vaccine can be delivered to people who want it.
So how exactly does Appiject work?
Well, if you've ever used an eyedropper where you in your eye take a little squeeze bottle, that technology is called blow, fill, seal. And that is exactly the same technology we're using. There are eyedropper facilities in the U.S., not many, but a few, that we are going to upgrade so they can handle vaccines. Then what will happen is those facilities will make the containers right here that will hold the vaccine. We will add a needle hub to them, and voila, you have a pre-filled syringe that's ready to use.
So where will they be manufactured, and what is significant about that now and going forward?
Well, we haven't announced yet which of the facilities in the U.S. will receive the upgrades. We're in discussions with all of the major U.S. manufacturers, but there are not many that do this on U.S. soil. What's going to happen is we'll choose one or two of those facilities in the next few weeks, and then we will begin to install all kinds of upgraded equipment that will all be approved by the FDA. Eventually, what we're going to do, starting next year, is build entire new factories capable of doing up to 330 million doses every month so that the entire U.S. population can be filled and finished from these brand new factories that we're building on U.S. soil.
How does the optional RFID chip work?
Well, each of these devices that are injected have the capacity to also have a small chip. What that chip does is it has the unique serial number for each dose. It is designed so that there is no counterfeiting. It's designed so that we'll know exactly that the right dose hasn't expired. However, that chip only refers to the dose. There's no personal information, no patient information. It's simply like a barcode, only we know instantaneously where and when that dose has been used. That also helps public health officials know when there are outbreaks. Have we vaccinated enough people in those areas? That technology is purely optional, however, and the U.S. government hasn't even decided if they're going to use it.
All praise, honor, and glory be to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Ha, Raka Akudash, Kal Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Wahaba, Wahadar, Shalom wa barakim ha'aman ba'khiyar Yasha Allah, which is to say peace and blessings to the faithful elect of Yasha Allah, double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well of Yasha Allah being Hebrew for Israel. This your brother Shariat Nawasah Shaman coming back, and I just want to say that this is only out to you so-called Negroes, aka blacks, you so-called Latinos and so-called Native American Indians, man, because you are in truth and in fact the Israelites, man. You've been lied to. Your identity has been kept from you all this time, and this is why everybody hates you, because you're actually the people of the book. You're famous, and you're actually cursed. You've been cursed for quite some time now, you know. But anyway, this is right in front of your face. Um, as it says, this is going into the chip. Pretty much, they got their vaccination, vaccination coming. From what President Trump's he's deemed as phase 2, which I say in the new war order, because um, it tells us that we're in a spiritual warfare, man. Um, it's let me see if I can get that real quick. It says yeah, for though we 2 Corinthians 10:3, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh, right? Which is what these people are doing. They're carnal. This is Esau. He's carnal. He represents the carnal side, carnality, aspect, the properties of what Esau uh, was, what basically the balance the Most High put down here. And Jacob, his twin brother, represents the spiritual side. It's supposed to, at least, you know. And Jacob consisting of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Esau consisting of so-called Jewish people who are actually Amalek, who's actually the top seed of Esau, and regular so-called white people, man. You know, whether they want to call themselves Russian, European, Irish, Hungarian, Swedish, everything's ish, because they're truly the Edomites. All right, all so-called white people come from Edomites, man. Right? Not people who actually just appear super light or look like a white person, but people actually that actually descend from the so-called Caucasian race by their father, or will actually be a Edomite. All right. Now it says, how could government use RFID chips when millions of Americans inject COVID-19 vaccine? So pretty much by the spirit, they could say what they want. But as it says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, right? Because we don't represent the carnality side of the balance the Most High put down here. We represent the spiritual side, being Jacob, us blacks, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native American Indians. It says, but mighty through the power, or through the Most High, or through Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, to the pulling down of strongholds. And this is a stronghold right here. It says, casting down imaginations and everything and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. And what's the knowledge of God we have? It says, let me see. See if I can get that real quick. Let me see. Salaki. I think it's Leviticus. Because it basically tell you in here in the law that you can't make any cuttings in your skin. See if I can get it in here. Let me see. Okay, here we go, I think. Yeah. Leviticus 19:28. Ye shall not make any. Who's the ye? The Israelites. Now, who is the Israelites? Only people that's footed the bill for quite some time. So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. So ye right? Because that's why nobody else claims to be the Israelites, but instead, closest thing, Israelis and Jewish. All those things actually are derivatives to say you're Israelite, but they will never say that. So somebody, no one knows who the Israelites are, but ironically, black people don't know where they come from. They don't actually know who they are in origin. You don't, so-called Negroes, you had the name of your race, your bloodline changed in the last 50 years about 5 times. So-called Latinos as well. So-called, you don't know if you're Latino or Hispanic or Latina. Then you got Native American Indians. You know what I'm saying? Which you don't know if you want to be Aboriginal, Indigenous. It's that's you don't actually know who you are, where you actually come from. But a lot of us do. So the only people that ironically fit that would be have to be the Israelites, man. There you go. Because the Israelites have said they was gonna forget who they are. So this is the Israelites, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, so called. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. And what does it tell us in Revelation 13:16? It says, Salakia. It says, and he calls it, who's the he? The man that run the earth, right? Tell us that in Job 9:24. The wicked. It's Esau's world. And he calls it both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So there you go, man. That's that same mark. You can't get a mark. This is a physical mark, which we did a lesson on. What's the chip? What's the mark of the beast? It's the chip. It's this right here, man. So if you get this vaccination, and they, led by the Spirit, I believe, to want to use that as the receipt, because he's not actually saying, because as it tells us in 2 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter, in the 11th verse, it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So they try to play slick, and they come up with all these plans. You see that he's like in a library full of books, of basically his own dogma, his own people's dogma. And when the scriptures tell you right here, they show you right here for him to be a foolish man, because it tell you right here in Ecclesiastes, it says so that Solomon set out on the search too to try to find true knowledge and how to beat things and what this is really all about. It says, Ecclesiastes 12:10, the preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. What words? The words of his heritage, what people know today to be the Bible, right? The words that were written through the Israelite men, his Israelite forefathers, you know what I'm saying, and continued through him as well, from the Most High, the Creator. It says the words of the wise are as golds and as nails fashioned by the masters of assemblies, right? So these are top men, from the top race on the planet Earth that came together to put together something that was going to stand the test of time forever. So we can see now what the mark of the beast is talking about, because these were masters. The words of the wise are as golds and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. So it's not multiple authors like this guy. And further, by these, my son, be admonished. Of making many books, there is no end. And much study is weariness of the flesh, because these people are carnal. Now, let me see. Let me get this. Psalms. I'm just going by spirit right now. Lord willing, it's edifying. 5. It says, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? So this is like eyes wide shut. These are. There's no telling what those books go into behind him, but he's actually telling you what he's on, what he's about. He's a part of the Operation Jumpstart, which we're gonna get in a second. It says they search out iniquities, right? they accomplished a diligent search. So Solomon was diligent too, but on the right hand side, this guy, and Solomon came from Jacob, right? Israel. This guy right here comes from Esau, right? He's an Edomite. So see the balance, the duality. It says they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. And to tell you that the heart is desperately wicked, who can know it? You know what I'm saying? So let's finish verse 7. It says, but Yahweh, but the Most High, shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. Because, they're actually going, they're not being admonished. They're not even set up to receive the words of truth. That's why they do these things. And then you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians who don't know who you are, you follow these people. You have you want to go get the elaborative bookshelves with books of folly that don't come from one shepherd. There's multiple men in there leaning upon their own mind, man. And that's the time we in, man. These people are leaning upon they were set up to do this, man. And the Lord is about to test tons of blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians who's hearing this truth, but basically showing it off like it's nothing. It's known as the hour of temptation, man. All right, you ain't want to believe you was an Israelite. They're telling you this chip gonna come. That's the hour of temptation. What you gonna do? You gonna follow so-called white man on that too? Because we breaking down how these people is off, man. Those books is not from one shepherd. It said, by these be admonished, by these words of this one book, from this one shepherd. Drink waters of your own cisterns well. Don't feed into what these people are saying, man. Because if you get that vaccination, you're going to catch what you're trying to prevent. And then they're going to make you get the damn chip. And there's no repentance for that. So that's the difference right there on that. Let me get this, let me see. Salakia. Let me see, so they search out iniquities, right? When you go into that word iniquity, because I want to do something real quick, it's, Iwal, and it means injustice, unrighteousness, wrong, violent deeds of injustice. That's what he has all these books to do. They're coming up with plays to do things that just simply and soundly aren't right, man. They're not right. Right? The wicked, man. Now, I'm gonna go get the etymology of it. It said the inward thought of them is deep, man. You don't understand. These people are like mad scientists, man. They want to chip you. Really think about that. Now, it say right here, injustice. When you go into etymology, injustice actually come from injustia and niastatia. Injustice starts off as unfairness from the Latin niastatia, which goes into niastus, which means wrongful, unreasonable, improper, oppressive. And you break it down because this is like a compound conjunction right there. It's and actually goes back into meaning not or opposite. You see that? What do we just start this off by saying? Esau is the opposite. He does the opposite of what's right. They call themselves body hackers. And then plus justice, and they show you right here, it was never no J. That's why it has the iustus. It means just. Now watch this. When you click that word in, watch what it say. In means not. In literally comes from meaning not, opposite of, without. Well, who they without? They without the Father, man. You know what I'm saying? And you can't get this enough right here. Amos 3:1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel. That Yahweh has spoken against you, O children of Israel. All right? Because some of you Native American Indians know you're Israelites too. Or well, I could bring the edification out on that. It says, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, our ancestors, we're one nation. We were the people who built Egypt. was in slavery in Egypt, and that's why you in America now, right? And you're probably in South America. You try to get to North America, and you get a hold of some Federal Reserve notes, some U.S. money, some dollars. What's on the back of a $1 bill? Egypt, man. And you've been oppressed this whole time here. The thing that has been is the thing which shall be, the Israelites, man. Just this time you don't know you're the Israelites. That's how this is why we know this has been the worst captivity of all time, man. It says, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. So that's why when you go into that word injustice, if they perform an injustice in breaking that off from justice or istus, in meaning not or opposite of, without, man. They without the Father because he only know the Israelites. If you're not an Israelite, you're without the Father. You're without this truth that we're bringing out right now. You're without receiving this and wanting to receive this and understand this. But they understand this to be so special, they keep it from you and try to basically act like it could be a fairy tale, but then they'll be hypocrites and try to claim themselves to be the people of the book. You know? That's showing you this is real, man. You're the only people on earth who's documented your life and it stood the test of times while you're still here, and it's telling everybody what's gonna happen. This is how important and famous you are, man. You people don't even understand what you a part of, you're truly, how you're truly special, man. You know. So let me see, because it was something in Job. It was something in Job. See if I. There he is. We should be able to get back to it. Job 15:35. They conceive mischief, right? So that's what it means when they search out. They accomplish a diligent search, man. And when you're diligent, let me get back to that. Job 15:35. All right, let me go back here real quick. Psalms 64. You gotta understand this. It said they accomplish a diligent search, man.
How quickly?
How quickly, right? Remember that. The word right there for diligent is kapash. You got two different words in Hebrew for the word diligent. Two different meanings. It says to search out, search for, to search out, disguise oneself, to search, and this is a disguise. But it's really not, because it's hidden in your, they can hide truth in your face in plain sight. It's like subliminal messaging. You know what I'm saying? It says, but this is more blatant than that. It says to think out, devise, to search, to test, to be searched out, be exposed. Who the only people disguise oneself, to let oneself be searched for, you know? And they know we're figuring this out, because that's what Jacob was made to do, to reprove their thoughts, man. Everyone's of the planet that's of the planet Earth's thoughts. You know, Job 15:35. It says they conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepared deceit. So this is what they're working on, man. They're diligently trying to oppress you. You know what I'm saying? Hide themselves and secretly trying to stop the prophecy. That's really what they're trying to do. They understood what it took for them to get where they, you know, had to be in order to have something before you were set to come into rulership. They had to do what they do. You know, that's the balance. So they have to show themselves to be completely wicked, and Jacob have to show themselves to be completely innocent and righteous, man. All right. It says, let me see, mischief. Aimal, it's the last one. Close this out. It says toil, trouble, labor, trouble. You know what I'm saying? Miserable, pain, painfulness, perversive, weariness. It says wearing effort, worthy, worry. It says whether of body or mind. So you people don't understand what's getting ready, what's getting ready to transpire in front of your face. And it says it is rendered by some sin, wickedness. How to be sin? Because we just read in Leviticus 19 and 28, it says, "Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead." So that'll be like us tattoos, nor print any marks upon you. For I am the Lord. He's Yahweh, man. So that would be sin by engulfing in what they're trying to tell you to engulf in, partake in, you know. And that's putting this cutting, this mark in your flesh. If you see the process of how you get an rfid chip implanted in you, you have to cut your skin open, man, pretty much, right? Incision. See that? You have to make an incision. It's a gun they put in you. It says an incision or gas. You're not supposed to do that, man. You can't do that. You cannot do that according to Leviticus 19 and 28, right? You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh. That's one thing he told you not to do. Now, let's get this real quick. 1 John 3 and 4, so you can understand this. It says, whosoever committed sin, transgresseth also the law. So in order for you to commit sin, you got to transgress the law. Transgress the law basically means to go against, you know. Transgress meaning basically to go against. Word right there is
Strong's G 458.
Anamia. And it says the condition of without. See that? Law. These people, man. Do as thou wilt, man. And they know who you are. Because when you sin, it keeps them in power. That's another punishment the Father puts upon you. He said, only I'm going to punish you. Everybody else keep doing what they want to do. That's why everything is aimed towards so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Your commercials, everything, man. Everything. The food commercials, the movies, the music is pushed towards and pushed and influenced by blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man, who are all the same people. Half the black, and there's another thing, half the black people you see, you think black people, those are native, so a lot of them are Native American Indians, man. Kyrie Irving, Big Meech, his son, who else? There's so many people, man, that are actual Native Americans. Those not even, would even be, they not actually under the classification as black people, you know? But they're the same people. That's showing you that's just a false title. Now, Micah, let me just go ahead. Let's get to this next part real quick. I'll be right back.
Public health officials know when there are outbreaks. Have we vaccinated enough people in those areas? That technology is purely optional, however, and the U.S. government hasn't even decided if they're going to use it.
How quickly can you manufacture the vaccines, and what's your long-term goal?
Well, know when there are outbreaks, have we vaccinated enough people in the... It is designed so that there is no counterfeiting. It's designed so that we'll know exactly that the right dose hasn't expired. However, that chip only refers to the dose. There's no personal information, no patient information.
These people some damn liars, man.
Or injection have the capacity to also have a small...
And you people gonna fall for it. A lot of you people gonna take this chip, man.
Up to 330 million doses every month, so that the entire U.S. population can be filled and finished from these brand new factories that we're building on U.S. soil.
So that tell you right there, with the number he just said, they plan for everybody that's in America to have this vaccination. So how much more the chip, which is prophecy? The vaccination is not prophecy. The chip is. It's just him being wicked, right?
330 million doses.
The 300, let me get it again. This vaccination is just it comes with the territory when you're under the subjection to wicked rulers, right? But the chip is actual prophecy, what you're supposed to stay a part of. And really ain't supposed to be getting no shot, because that's an incision. That's a mark. It says, or gas. You put a gas in your skin to get a dang shot. Israelites won't get no shots back then, man. This dude is the devil.
Build entire new factories capable of doing up to 330 million doses every month.
330 million doses every month.
So that the entire U.S. population can be filled and finished from these brand new factories that we're building on U.S. soil.
How does the optional RFID chip work?
See that? Optional. But it tell you right here, man. If you, man, bro, you get this chip, you finish, man. It says 13, 16, Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls it all, both small, great, rich, and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark, that gas that's been put inside of him, right? But we went into it. It says, or the name of the beast or the number of his names. And the elders been going into this for years, man. The elders and apostles of Great Millstone for years. And here we are. This is being pushed, being brought out, and it's still sitting in your Bible right now that you probably own. And now it's right in front of your face. You know? But half of you people don't even know this is going on. So this don't say anything about optional, but it definitely lines up to what they're talking about, this RFID chip. But it's not optionable,
well,
according to the scriptures. But yet they saying it's optional. So this is like the devil being the devil, man.
Each of these devices.
That's why I say this, man. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You know, a way to get you is a method. It's a tool used to get you to basically to bring forth, you know, a purpose he needs. You know, and his tool is his tongue, man. And the word for devices.
Strong's G 3540. Naima.
A mental perception, thought, right? So that's his. It's actually talking about his mind, man. That which thinks, the mind, thoughts or purposes. That's the device. It says the intellect, man. A perception, an example, purpose, by implication, the intellect, disposition itself, device, mind, thought. And you people sitting around all day not building your damn mind up. That's why you motherfuckers is gonna be taken, man. Because you fucking ignorant, man. You're fucking ignorant, man. Sitting around all damn day playing games. This ain't no game, man. You worry about somebody cursing. So-called. I ain't cursed nobody. You don't even know what that means. You don't look up words. You don't give a damn about nothing, man. And these people don't build their so-called fortified country, their fortified expenses and riches and etc., man, off intellect, man. Mind game, man. Satan deal with your mind, man. That's where he hits you at, man. Everything else follow after that, man. If he wants you destroyed, if he wants your physical body taken, he work on your mind, man. That's why you're supposed to be working on your damn mind, because it's everything's opposite. That's what we just went into, man. This not no damn game. It's saying it right here. This ain't even the actual tools. His mind, man. His mind is the device, man. Even though we know that. But it literally says this, man. You can't make this up. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us. They're trying to score, man. They're trying to win the game. But it's not written in their favor. Everything that you're living out is what's written, man. For you, for us as a whole, for this earth, man. For the future to come. It says, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So who will be the we? Because it dang sure ain't everybody, man. You better, Lord willing, you tune in and you be a part of this we, to where you're not ignorant of his mind. The scriptures say that he calls it all. Don't matter who you is, your status, you getting this mark, man. This RFID chip, you're getting this, man. Calls it this force. No man might buy or sell. That's mandatory. You have to have it. So how is it optional? Optionable, because where we at in the process at this time, it isn't cause for yet. But that's why Trump labeled this whole process of phase 2 in the new war order, which is why I brought those scriptures out about the war. This is a war, man, but it's spiritual, and this is how we're preparing for fight with these scriptures, man. They getting bullets, they getting chips. They read more books. We read more scriptures. We doing more spiritual stuff. We fasting. This is spiritual war, man. They getting tanks ready. We preparing to receive spiritual power. You know? This is not no damn game, man. This is not a game. So phase 2, aka Operation Warp Speed, aka what they saying now, Jumpstart.
That are injecting have the capacity to also have a small chip. What that chip does is it has the unique serial number for each dose. It is designed so that there is no counterfeiting. It's designed so that we'll know exactly that the right dose hasn't expired. However, that chip only refers to the dose. There's no personal information, no patient information. It's simply like a barcode, only we know instantaneously where and when that dose has been used. That also helps public health officials know.
And he just winked, man. This dude just sat here and winked. He just sat here and winked, man. Watch his eyes. This man just sat here and winked.
However, that chip only refers to the dose. There's no personal information, no patient information.
Watch.
It's simply like a barcode, only we know instantaneously where and when that dose has been used. That also helps public health officials know when there are outbreaks. Have we vaccinated enough people in those areas? That technology is purely optional, however, and the U.S. government hasn't even decided if they're going to use it.
The U.S. government haven't decided. They know they're going to use it. That's why we're getting the technology, and they're practicing it. They're practicing it right now, man. They're practicing it right now, man. They're practicing it right in your face, and you don't even realize it, man. Micah 2:1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. These their beds. He in his lair. He's in his lair. Look at his background, man. It says, when the morning is light. That's broad daylight. Eyes wide shut, man. When the morning is light, they practice it. Because it is in the power of their hand. See that, man? They can do what they want, man. Man, may the Lord kill all you niggas that don't want to wake up, man. Baba Kushab.
Can you manufacture the vaccines, and what's your long-term goal?
And bring you back in your right mind. Because this, I mean, you can't, this is ignorant, man. Man.
Well, we don't make vaccines, Lori. Drug companies make the vaccines. They then ship them to us for the packaging. So
the power's in his hand, right? They say the power's in their hand. What does it say his position was at this company? He's a CEO.
Our long-term goal is to make sure that no matter what vaccine wins or what vaccines and what therapeutics are available.
See, no matter what vaccine wins, in order for you to win, you got to practice, man. See that? Practice, winning, is all a concept. It's a game, man. And he's trying to come on top, come get on top, man. That's why I said like Satan should get an advantage, man. They got a head start on you, low key. But now the Lord twisted it. He turned that around a long time ago. We got the head start because we going over things that hasn't even happened yet, man. But it's happening. In order for you to keep your head start, you keep your mind stayed on the Lord, man. And you stay with these scriptures. You don't follow behind him. Because soon as he'll get advantage of you, soon as you buy into this video, man. On his side. from CBN News. See what they hashtagged it Christian News.
America
We
can
the real
fill
Christians,
and
man.
finish in these pre-filled
There ain't no church, there ain't no bunch of dwellers that in a building some damn where, man. We're the real Christians, the Israelites. Christian is a Greek term from Christos, man. It just means the anointed, man. Oil. Like, ironically, Crisco grease. Man.
syringes, as many of the drugs as we need for U.S. citizens, and eventually to have excess that we can export worldwide. Our goal is to make sure that on American soil, we have everything we need to protect America.
When do you think you might start filling these with the vaccine?
Well, the president has said that that vaccine will be ready this year. So if that vaccine shows up at our door, we're going to be ready to fill it as soon as it does.
Well, it's a fascinating new technology. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. Jay Walker, CEO of Appiject, thanks for being here. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you for having me, Lori.
Hey, man, I'm going to get one last scripture. Revelation 12:12. It says, therefore, rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
No one's ever come back from 3-1.
It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. So all the animals, all the you so-called creatures of mankind, right? The mammals on the sea, etc. For the devil has come down unto you. It'd be better if you was dwelling in the heavens in the sky, man. It says, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time.
Agonizing defeat. Down 5-1.
See this? The Israelites.
Been underestimated and counted out.
Israelites. So-called blacks and Negroes, man.
We felt like it was over.
He probably Israelite.
But it's when we're given no chance
All Israelites, man.
that we somehow found that last bit of strength to keep fighting. And then we did what no one thought we could. Not even ourselves.
Not him. Him, I never know that.
We came back from the impossible. From being broken. We found a way when it seemed hopeless.
See? We found the way when it seemed hopeless, man. That's spiritual.
Public health
Listen to
officials
this.
warned that when a coronavirus vaccine is ready, the next hurdle is how to get that vaccine out to the public quickly and in massive numbers. Joining me now is Jay Walker. He's the CEO of Appiject, a company that entered into a $138 million deal with the Trump administration called Project Jumpstart. Welcome, Mr. Walker.
Project Jumpstart. See that? Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you. Right? And devil what makes them a devil, it goes into the Greek word Diabolos, and it basically means deceiver, man. To alter your perception. They say the greatest trick the devil ever did was basically convince the world he didn't exist, man. Having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So these people are the devil, according to the Bible. Don't take that trip, man. Don't take that vaccine. Don't take no optional chip. It might become mandatory by them telling you it's not even mandatory. It might say it's optional the whole time, and the whole world ends up getting it. Either way, that's him forcing it for you to get it, right? And you end up indirectly not being able to buy without it. You could do it like that. They're going to play the slick guy role all the way to the end, man. These people not finna let up. So with that, all praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Ha, Rakah, Akwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who were well of Yasha Allah. Peace and blessings to you faithful elect out there, man, of Yasha Allah. So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans waking back up into your heritage and turning back to the Lord. You men preaching the truth, and the true names Yahweh Ba, Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh in the name Yahweh Shai. Shalom.